accounts. Why do we need accounts actually? Why do we need accounts? Somebody can put a light on this. Why do we want accounting principles? Why there should be principles in accounting? Accounting is accounting. Whatever we spend, we just can put it down in a paper. We can say that this is my accounting. But yes, that is an accounting of your spends or whatever you are receiving. That you can put it across. One way you can show receivables, another way, receivings and receipts, and other way you can show your expenditures. So receipts and expenditures you can always jot it down. But why do we require accounting principles? What is the thumb rule? Why do we require it? Can anyone put it across? See, why do we require it? Because business is not a one day job, it is a continuous process. So there is a continuity in the business. So the continuity principle we have to see. There are certain amounts, if we say that whatever I have received this month, that only I will show as my receiving receipts. But there are certain credit sales also you do, right? आपने जब क्रेडिट सेल्स करते हैं उसको दिखाएंगे या नहीं दिखाएंगे? We have to show that. So those credit sales are also pertaining to this month's sales only, no? So usko bhi credit sales we have to take into account. Cash sales also we have to take into account. And why we are taking credit sales into account? Because if you have not received this month, we will be receiving the next month or next subsequent month. Generally, credit periods are allowed. कितना है? 45 days credit is allowed, 30 days credit is allowed, 60 days credit is allowed. There are certain hard bargainers are there who require 90 days credit and that. So because business is a continuity, business is a continuous process, we have to consider the amounts of credit in this month's revenue itself. Okay, because this sales is pertaining to this month. I'm just giving you certain fundamentals where ये certain fundamentals आपको बोलने के बाद, after telling you all the fundamentals, then we will see what are the entries generally these accountants they do. What is debit? What is credit? Those things in that we will take in another, ये session में नहीं हो पा रहा है तो we'll take in the next session. But we have to be very strong in our fundamental things. So one thing you can jot down, revenue recognition principle. Revenue recognition principle is something very important to have your accounting entry. ये महीने का revenue recognition is whether you have done cash sales, you are recognizing it as a revenue, and if you have done credit sales, you are also taking that as a revenue recognition principle के अंदर you are taking that into this month, right? Okay, then comes, आप जब देखते हैं, let us see how do we form a partnership firm or a company. How do we do that? And there is a something called OPC, one person company. What is one person company? One person company is also a company, a private limited company, but it is run by only one person. One person can make a company and he runs it. It is called OPC. Now I'm just diverting a little bit from accounting to this company thing. Now, why OPC? And what is the benefit of LLP? Why private limited company? Why all these things are done? How it is different from a partnership firm or sole proprietor? See, जब हम business करते हैं, when we do business, we are exposed to lot of liabilities to customers, to suppliers, to employees, to statutory bodies. So many stakeholders are there. Correct? No? We are exposed to statutory liabilities. We are exposed to हमारा जो supply करता है suppliers liability or what we say creditors liability and all. Correct? So हमारा who are the stakeholders? One is the company का management is one stakeholder. Then second comes your suppliers are stakeholders, employees are stakeholders, statutory, EPF, Provident Fund Organization, and your income tax authorities, whom you pay TDS, whom you pay PF and all, they are also stakeholders. So these stakeholders collectively part of your company, they are part of your company. We have certain liabilities towards them, right? At the end of the month, you have created a lot of obligations to pay them, or you have gained a lot of rights to get certain amounts from other people, like your customers, your buyers and all, So now question comes, why do we make private limited company? Why do we make LLP? Why do we make OPC, one person company? The very basic reason is that, see, whether any statutory dues or any liability you incur in a period of time by virtue of your business, those are all have a right. All the stakeholders have a right to attach to your personal property. जब आप खुद proprietor हो and your company is not separable, I'm just repeating, if your company or if your organization is not separable from the individual proprietorship or from the individual partners, then any liability that comes in, either the proprietor or all these partners, they are individually, I repeat it, individually you got an obligation to pay to them from your own source of funds. So that is the reason. So मेरे को company से, why we make company separate from the individual? Because जो भी liability आएगा, whatever liability the company will be, gaining over a period of time or having a period of time, all these liabilities, if the company is separate, if the partnership firm is separate, then the company or the partnership firm will directly get attached to them rather than your individual property. Clear? So that is the reason behind, people create all these different entities, different in bodies. So company is a different body from the investor. Company is different body from the promoter, founder, right? So that is how the shape of LLP also comes there, and that is how the shape of OPC or private limited comes there. Clear? So now, if Shyam has invested, say 1 lakh rupees in a firm called Ram Company, which is a proprietorship firm, that 1 lakh rupees, if he gets a liability of say 5 crores, somebody has sued him for negligence in his service or for a defect in the goods. If somebody has sued him, then if somebody has sued him for 5 lakhs rupees, so उसका proprietorship firm का proprietorship company का 1 lakh तो जाएगा, and उसका personal property से भी another 4 lakhs will get attached to it. Clear? So suppose if Shyam makes a OPC, वो OPC में 1 lakh rupees वो रखता है, one person company, I am telling, it is registered under Companies Act 2013, under one OPC में वो registration होता है, like another private limited companies. So now again, if he has got a liability, of 5 lakhs rupees, then Shyam OPC private limited से 1 lakh ही जाएगा. Neither of his neither of his own assets or any other things will get attached to it. Clear? So that is the reason behind formation of a company, LLP and private limited company. So LLP, what is the full form of LLP? Can anybody say it?
Liability partnership.
Yeah, limited liability partnership. How does it differ from a partnership firm? How does it differ?
Is registered under Partnership Act 1932, whereas LLP is registered under the New Companies Act 2013.
Perfect, Abhishek. Now, from disability point of view, what is the benefit LLP enjoys over partnership firm? What is the benefit LLP enjoys over partnership firm? So, to avoid the liability, limited liability, the liability is limited to the extent of its shareholding. Clear? That is why it is called limited liability. Similarly, private limited company. In a private limited company, the liability is limited to the extent of shareholding of directors or shareholders. Clear? उससे आगे तो कुछ नहीं जाएगा. If my shares are in a company is 5 lakhs rupees, जितने भी liability आएगा 5 lakhs का liability आएगा. 5 lakhs of shares will get attached to it. If there is a liability of 10 crores, 10 lakhs, then 5 lakhs का shares जाएगा और बाकी 10 another 5 lakhs will get unsatisfied and unsettled. Clear? If the company is having any property over this capital also, then only those properties will get attached to that liability. Otherwise, there will be a mismatch between the liability and the shareholding. Clear? So that is the basic principle that LLP is having over partnership firm, is that partnership firm are, partners are also individually liable to any liability outside the company. Clear? Whereas इसमें वो नहीं है. Okay. And any other accounting principles that you say while taking up accounting? What are the other basic principles that we say? So now we have discussed accounting concept में क्या करते हैं? Separate entity concept आता है. What is separate entity concept? I am different from the company. Shyam, though he is the owner of the company, but the company is different. Shyam is different. Shyam has invested 1 lakh of rupees as capital. So company's liability towards Shyam is to the extent of only 1 lakh because उन्होंने capital दिया है. Now company is different. Shyam is different, and Shyam Private Limited is different. Clear? So that concept is called separate entity concept. So separate entity concept में क्या होता है? Whatever capital is brought in by the founder, by the owner, that goes into the company as if this money has been borrowed from Sam. So उसमें जो accounting entry भी होता है उसी में ये होता है कि that entries also I will tell you what is debit, what is debit, what are the methods of accounting, what are the basic principles of accounting. Those things we will see in the next class. I think in next session we will see. Now we will see what are the fundamentals that accounting concepts or accounting assumptions, generally accepted accounting principles क्या रहता है. Those things that we will see. Clear? वो fundamental, these are the basic fundamentals basing on which the entire accounting concept is designed, and to make it uniform, to make it practicable, adaptable by different companies, there is an institute called Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. They have issued certain guidelines called Indian Accounting Standards. Okay, IAS, Indian Accounting Standards they have issued. We'll discuss all those in our forthcoming discussions and all. Now coming to the discussion basic principles, what is there behind the general accounting principle में जो जाता है, before when we work out on accounting principles, what are the basic concepts that we discuss is that one we have seen is a separate entity. Business entity is separate from the individual, and generally this concept has been adopted because to limit the liabilities of the promoter, this concept has been designed. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, जब तक आप हाँ नहीं बोलेंगे, I will not go to any further discussion. the basic satisfaction comes to a speaker when you says, yes, sir, I have listened it and I understood it. Correct? And now we have seen that a business entity is different and individual promoter is different. Clear? And that comes for limiting the responsibility of liability and to make the share safeguarding the shareholding. This is designed. Clear? Now coming to this one, we have also seen accrual. Okay, accrual business method that we have seen now. Accrual means this month's business, whatever revenue has been revenue recognition. What we can say, one is your separation of business, separate business entity is one. Then another one is revenue recognition. Revenue, how do we recognize revenue? We recognize all the revenues that is pertaining to this month. We will also be recognizing all the revenues pertaining to the next month. So revenue recognition one is another one concept, and separate entity is another concept. Then third, we can say, I will not elaborate many concepts, but today we just discuss on couple of concepts and why do we require all these concepts, which way these are related to measurements of different, different measuring tools, how these are related to measuring tools, how it is related to accounting, and all we'll see. Now we have seen separate entity concept. We have also seen realization concept. Now coming to another thing, we consider an organization is always as a going on concern. It is the business is happening. Suppose if we feel that ये company और आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा, then we don't have to look into the accrual things and we have to close the accounts then and there itself. Clear? When there is an incident that comes, a stoppage or a closure of the entity, then these principles, whatever we are discussing, we have to consider them as a closure concept rather than going on concern. Going on concern is always, we think that a business is always a continuous process. So that is the reason we consider all these accruals, all these difference between owners and company, all that are different, separate entity concept, cost concept, we can say matching concept is also there. All that we discuss because we think a business concern is always a going concern. Okay, so going concern is the continuity of business. The accounting happens on the basis of going concern concept, and the accounting will be different when you think that business is not going to happen and is going to get closer. So in that time, all the liabilities, everything we have to tabulate it. And suppose in the case of insolvency, or when a liquidating officer is engaged, then in such case the accounting concept will be different from a going on concept. Clear, Mr. Abhishek Dalai?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you give on a occasion why companies get closed and a little bit of to make this interaction more meaningful? Where do we see that going concern concept is not adopted? In which cases we should see? Suppose if a company is formed or defrauding others, किसी को लूटने के लिए, cheat करने के लिए, if a company is formed, defrauding others or with an illegal objective and all. And when the corporate veil of the company is lifted by the legal authorities, taxation authorities, tax evasion के लिए भी those are built up, when they lift off the corporate veil and all, those going on concept comes to a closure, comes to an end. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So in such a case, the going on concern comes to an end, and there we have to fix the liabilities and everything on a particular date as if it is going to get closed. Now, I will say, what is dual concept? Dual concept is very important, very, very important in accounting. Correct? For every liability, there is an asset, and for every asset, there is a liability. If Shyam has invested 1 lakh rupees in Shyam Private Limited, then Shyam Private Limited has borrowed that capital from Mr. Shyam, and हमारा capital account में we will show that 1 lakh rupees. वो 1 lakh rupees जो आएगा वो हमारा asset में भी बैठेगा. Clear? Always make a pillar between asset and liability. One partition कर दीजिए, and you see for every liability there is an asset. Then आपका accounting में, you know, generally when the accountants they do the month end balancing वगैरह सब जो करते हैं ना, if they are not fundamentally very strong in dual concept, dual aspect concept, then they will never be able to match a profit and loss account and balance it, because these are the two. There are three things actually. One is cash flow statement, another one is P&L account, profit and balance sheet, profit and loss account, and another is a balance sheet. These are the three documents now. For a company, the main three documents are, you know, financial documents were what? P&L and balance sheet. That is what every time you must be listening from all these commerce students or chartered accountants or whoever, you know, company people, what you are listening. मेरा P&L है, मेरा balance sheet है, मेरा cash flow statement है. These are the three things they always discuss, discuss about. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So अभी P&L है, P&L, balance sheet and ये cash flow statement हम बाद में देखेंगे. But when we are discussing about the principles, how the accounting principles are coming in, तभी हमको सबसे बड़ी, you know, the very important thing that comes to accounting principle is dual aspect concept. Dual aspect concept में this is only one thing that we can say, that for every receipt there is a payment, और नहीं होता है तो उसमें जो balance रहता है that is comes that we hold in this one with us. So suppose abhi, I mean, I'm unable to show you. I perhaps in the next session I will put a whatever as in हमने discussion कर रहे हैं, I will put it in the day and next session, maybe next Sunday. I will present it how we can correlate a lot of things that we have discussed today, or I will put in the bullet points and I will send across to you. Now coming to dual concept में, I say that for every asset there is a liability, and for every liability there is an asset. So abhi now we'll take that example. If you are having, if you are ready with pen and paper, you know, Shyam has brought 1 lakh rupees as capital to the company, and out of that 1 lakh rupees, the company has bought say furnitures to the tune of roughly around 30,000 it has bought, and it has also bought raw materials of 50,000, because वो raw material वो खरीद के उसको सेल करेगा वो, okay, or some, you know, selling items, sellable items he has bought, say another 50,000 का लेके आ गया, 30,000 का फर्नीचर खरीद लिया ऑफिस के लिए, and another 20,000 cash is with that, right? So this 1 lakh rupees, what he has, the 1 lakh rupees that is bought into Shyam and Company, Shyam Private Limited, 1 lakh में आपको लाइबिलिटी क्या होता है? श्याम कंपनी का लाइबिलिटी क्या होता है? श्याम कंपनी हैज borrowed capital from Shyam to the tune of 1 lakh rupees, right? So that 1 lakh rupees is the liability. Correct, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why we are saying that Shyam Private Limited has borrowed from Shyam? Because Shyam is different and Private Limited is different. So Shyam Private Limited has borrowed 1 lakh rupees as capital from Shyam. So आपका liability, आप एक पेपर में लेफ्ट हैंड साइड लाइबिलिटी लिख दीजिए, राइट हैंड साइड एसेट्स लिख दीजिए। क्लियर? लेफ्ट साइड में लाइबिलिटी लिख लीजिए, राइट साइड में एसेट्स लिख दीजिए। सो लाइबिलिटी में ये अकाउंट जो रहता है, दिस अकाउंट इज ऑफ श्याम प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, राइट? श्याम प्राइवेट लिमिटेड का ये अकाउंट है। श्याम प्राइवेट लिमिटेड का अकाउंट में लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में आप रख लीजिए, इट हैज बोरोड 1 लाख रुपीज फ्रॉम मिस श्याम, एंड राइट साइड में आप रख दीजिए फर्नीचर 30,000 एंड ट्रेडिंग गुड्स आप लिख दिए, गुड्स 50,000। आपका कैश इन हैंड कितना रहा बैलेंस? आपने 1 लाख रुपीज श्याम से लेके आया। नाउ you are the accountant of Shyam Private Limited. You have bought 1 lakh rupees from Shyam as capital, so left hand side में आपका liability में आया 1 लाख रुपीज, राइट? राइट हैंड साइड में आपका एसेट मैंने दिखाने के लिए बोला। एक साइड में आपका लाइबिलिटी रहता है, दूसरा साइड में आपका एसेट रहता है। वो जो 1 लाख रुपीज आप श्याम से लेके आए, दैट इज द कंपनीज लाइबिलिटी। Though it is a capital, but it is the liability of the company, so it sits under liability, right? So Shyam's capital is a liability for the company. Okay. Then right hand side में आपने फर्नीचर खरीदे हैं, you have spent for furniture. फर्नीचर में आपने कितने spent? How much you have spent? 30,000.
30,000.
Okay. Then goods sell करने के लिए आपने कितने में लाए? 50,000 का लेके आए. Okay. Then कैश इन हैंड आपका कितना रहा?
50,000.
20,000. Clear? अभी दिस 50,000 गुड्स को आपने क्या किए? यू हैव सोल्ड इट 70,000 में आपने सेल कर दिए। कितने में सेल किए हैं?
70,000.
Okay.
ओके, सो आपको प्रॉफिट कितना आया?
20,000.
राइट, 20,000। अभी वो 20,000 का केस आपके साथ एडिशन हो गया है। You got additional cash. I mean, I feel that you should start from balance sheet. Left hand side में आपका liability रहना है कंपनी का. Whatever you get from either by way of capital or by a way of borrowing, whatever you get, it should be there in the left hand side as liability, and right side में आप एक छोटा सा नोट में रख लीजिए whatever the assets those have been created from the money that you have borrowed or that capital that has been infused, and उसमें से आप suppose if you have bought certain goods आपको then वो goods को लेके आपने क्या किए हैं? What is that you have done? You have converted that into cash. आपका 50,000 का आइटम goods खरीद के लेके आए and you have made it 70,000. So now your cash balance, then goods आपने जो 50,000 इस goods बोल के लिखे थे, वो goods को कट कर दीजिए। वो गुड्स की जगह पे आपका आ गया कैश 70,000। सो पहले कैश 20,000 था और अभी 70,000 आ गया, तो 90 हो गया। 90 प्लस ये फर्नीचर आपका 30 है, 120 हो गया। 120 हो गया तो आपका वो कैपिटल ओनली कितना है? 1 लाख है। तो आपको सरप्लस जो मिला है, रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस, व्हाट यू से इन लायबिलिटी साइड यू पुट दैट अमाउंट 20,000 एज रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस that has been brought from P&L account. आपको प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट एक बनाना है, उसमें से आपको जो प्रॉफिट ट्रांसफर होके आएगा लायबिलिटी साइड में, आई विल शो यू इन द नेक्स्ट डिस्कशन हाउ P&L account is prepared and how profit or loss is carried forward to balance sheet. अभी आपको म्यूचुअल, आई मीन व्हाट वी कैन से ड्यूअल कंसेप्ट आपको आ जाता है, करेक्ट? अभी आप हैव यू सीन द कन्वर्जन दैट हैज हैपेंड? आपका 50,000 का जो गुड्स था दैट हैज बिकम योर कैश, वो 70,000 में कन्वर्ट हो गया। क्लियर? इज दैट क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो आप पहले आपने क्या लिखे थे? 30,000 प्लस 50,000 प्लस 20,000 लिखे थे। ओके,
Yes, sir.
30,000 प्लस 20,000 प्लस, अभी क्या हुआ? 30,000 प्लस 70,000 प्लस
121.
1,20,000.
we got it, no? So what I was telling you, this 20,000 what you got surplus case, that is getting parked in reserve and surplus on your liability side. And when we draw a P&L account, profit and loss accounts, when we draw it, then how you have gained? If you can, or if you can take it right in another minute, you bought, you sold items for 50,000 items that you have sold out for 70,000, right? So you got a 20,000 bucks of profit. So I mean, what I will do, I will share across in the group after this discussion how the profit P&L account looks like and how the balance sheet looks like, with a very elementary thing that we have discussed. Only जितना discussion किए है उसको मैंने jot down करके I will send across to you, so that it makes you to understand what are the principles of accounting and what are the basic documents, basic, being a non-finance guy, what do you study when you look into a company's, affairs? When you look into a company's affairs, what do you study? You look into the P&L account, you look into the balance sheet, you look into the cash flow account. So उसको कैसे स्टडी करना है, that is our objective. वो स्टडी करने के बाद we need to see what are the more measuring tools like you got ratio analysis. How do you do ratio analysis? What is current ratio? What is liquid ratio? What is debt coverage ratio? Right? So many things are there. Debt equity ratio, all those ratio analysis that also we will do. Now another concept is there, because today we will just look into 4-5 accounting concepts, and other accounting concepts I will just pass on to you. It is a readable item, with illustrations I can send across to you. Another concept is cost concept. Cost concept is that in accounting you don't have to overshow that you are gaining so much, or you are आपका ज़्यादा profit हो रहा है. All those things you don't have to show. You have to adopt conservatism. What is called conservatism? So for adopting conservatism, what you have to show? You have to show things that you buy. You have to show as cost. At cost you have to show. Like suppose अभी हम ये जो 50,000 का goods हम खरीद के लेके आए, at the end of the day, if you have not sold them, still it is lying as your inventory. You have to show 50,000 only, even though the market value is 60,000. You have to show them under your cost price only. Clear?
Yes, sir.
उसका हमने मार्केट में अभी 60,000 में वो बेचा जा रहा है, then I will just do it 60,000. तो मेरे को 50 में लेके आया था, लेकिन मार्केट वैल्यू इज 60,000. I have to show my books of account at 60,000 only, and मेरा 10,000 ऑटोमेटिक प्रॉफिट हो गया है. Nothing doing. You have to show at cost only. There is an accounting, standard is there. As I told, Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants, they have, circulated, they have notified a lot of accounting principles that all the accountants, they should follow. So in one of that principle goes with the cost concept. Clear? So what we have seen? We have seen separate entity concept. We have seen going on concept, dual aspect concept, and we have seen also revenue recognition or realization concept, and we have seen cost concept. Correct?
Yes,
Clear?
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And there is another thing called accounting period. What is accounting period? As per Ministry of Company Affairs, our accounting period is starting from 1st April to 1st April of a year and ends with 31st March of a following year. Whereas different entities in Europe and US, they follow 1st January to 31st December. Okay. So 1st January to 31st December, what other people they follow, European or states organizations, whereas India follows from 1st of April to 31st of March. Why do we follow 1st of April? Because when you look into, the Sankranti, every auspicious things that comes Indian culture में जो आता है, you remember most of the things that come in the end of, mid of March or first week of April. You must be seeing, the New Year's, all the New Year's for Punjabis, all the New Year's for Tamilians, all that comes in that particular period. So keeping that in mind, probably from 1st April से 31st March तक, this period has been considered as the accounting period. Clear? That is the financial accounting. Financial year. The financial year has been defined in that manner. However, we recognize every single item monthly basis. आपको monthly P&L also people prepare, monthly profit and loss also people prepare, and monthly debtors, monthly creditors, all those things are prepared. Clear? So now I think we have gone through most of the basic principles of accounting today, right? We have also seen going on concern, right? And with this, I think we need to conclude the class. And before we conclude the class, we will also know a little bit terminology. What is debtor? What is debtor? Debtor क्या होता है? Creditor क्या होता है?
Debtor means the person to whom our business sold goods on credit. इसको debtor बोलती है. Creditor means the person to whom our business purchase on credit. इसको creditor बोलते हैं.
करेक्ट. जो आपको क्रेडिट देता है वो क्रेडिटर है, जो आपसे डेट लिया है वो डेटर है. सिंपल थिंग. जो आपको क्रेडिट दिया है वो क्रेडिटर है, जो आपसे डेट लिया है वो डेटर है. वी डोंट से डेप्टर, वी डोंट प्रोनाउंस इट डेप्टर, वी से डेटर, राइट?
ओके सर.
बी साइलेंट रहता है उसमें. ओके. सो who takes debt from us? Only जो हमसे बिना पैसा दिए, without giving a pie, if somebody has taken our goods. अभी जैसे हमारा एग्जाम्पल में we said that 50,000 का goods हमारे पास था, हमने उसको 70,000 में सेल किया है, करेक्ट ना? वो 70,000 से एक्चुअली हमको पैसा आया है सपोज 40,000 आया है और 30,000 हम क्रेडिट में दिए हैं. In such a case, 30,000 goes to, debtors. हमारा डेट सेल हुआ है. क्या हुआ है? डेट सेल हुआ है. कैश सेल हुआ है क्या? कैश सेल नहीं हुआ है, डेट सेल हुआ है. क्लियर? Whereas 40,000 हमारा कैश सेल हुआ है. क्लियर ना?
यस सर.
सो अभी सपोज सिमिलर वे हम जो 50,000 का 50,000 का गुड्स खरीद के लेके आए हैं, सपोज if we have paid 30,000 only by cash and 20,000 we have paid by a post dated check, 3 महीने के बाद एक चेक दिए हैं जो कि which he will realize after 3 months, but still it is a debt sale from his point of view. And वो सपोज हमने मिथुन कुमार एंड को से वो मटेरियल खरीद के लेके आए हैं. सपोज लेटर से अभी का सिचुएशन में हम फेस मास्क मिथुन जी से खरीद के लेके आए हैं ये 50,000 से हम मिथुन जी को से 20,000 ही कैश दिए हैं, 30,000 हम उनको नहीं दिए हैं। तो मिथुन जी उनका कंपनी का खाता में दिखाएंगे 20,000 एज इफ ही हैज रिसीव्ड कैश एंड बाकी 30,000 इट इज ए डेट सेल फॉर हिम। एंड हमारा खाता में हम क्या दिखाएंगे, मिथुन जी हमको क्या दिए हैं, क्रेडिट दिए हैं, करेक्ट। सो मिथुन जी हमारे लिए क्या हो गए हैं, ही हैज बिकम क्रेडिटर फॉर आवर कंपनी, whereas we have become debtor for his company. Anybody can explain same illustration को मेरे को बताइए अभी। If we have bought 50,000 of face mask from Mithun and Company, what is your position with Mithun and Co? Whether you are a debtor or whether you are a creditor? Can anybody say that?
Sir, Mithun company is debtor and we are a creditor.
Who is a debtor?
Sir, Mithun.
No, Mithun is not a debtor. He has not taken debt from you.
Sir,
He has given credit to you. आपने 50,000 का माल ले लिए हैं प्रज्ञा जी. You have taken 50,000 of mask from him. You have only paid 20,000 to him. Huh? You have only paid 20,000 to him, but you have taken 50,000 of mask from him. So 20,000 का credit you are enjoying. So since Mithun ji has given credit to you, he is your creditor. You are Mithun's debtor. सब लोगों को clear है it is? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Mithun ji has given credit, so he is creditor.
Yes, sir.
You have taken that debt, so you are the debtor. Clear na Pragyan ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, suppose you have given me, say Ramakant को आपने वही फेस मास्क आपने 70,000 में आपने मेरे को सेल किए, ओके? 70,000 से 40,000 I have paid you cash and 30,000 मैंने आपको कैश नहीं दिया. I have not given you anything. I have told that I will give you in the next month. Okay. Now in such a situation, who is the debtor and who is the creditor? Who is the debtor and who is the creditor? I have taken, the debt sales from you. I have taken the debt sales from you, Pragyan. You have given me debt sales. So you are my creditor and I am the debtor. So whatever I have written today, एक बार आप देख लीजिए. And there are certain things. What is depreciation? Depreciation के बारे में भी हमको जानना है. There are certain terminologies we need to understand before we go into accounting things. One is, we have seen what is debtor, what is creditor, and that I will give a picture and I will send across to you so that it always gets into your mind. You don't get confused. Then second one is, we have seen debtor क्या है, creditor क्या है, and another one is depreciation. What is depreciation? What is depreciation?
Sir, suppose we are brought a machine, then after that is cost price is decreasing, selling price. So
Why it is decreasing, Pragyan ji? Why the cost price of, what is the price? Why the price of equipment or machinery is getting decreasing? Let us take an example of a very simple example. A simple, either you buy a bike, you buy a scooty, you buy a car. आपका scooty, how much you pay for buying it? Say 70,000 or 80,000. You bought a Honda Activa, correct?
yes, sir.
होंडा एक्टिवा ये साल आपने खरीदे, खरीद के व्हाट यू डू, आप ड्राइव करते हो?
Yes, sir.
ओके, ड्राइव करने से क्या होता है? देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड वियर एंड टियर। पार्ट्स में क्या होता है? वियर एंड टियर हो जाता है। सर्टेन पार्ट्स, आपका इंजन भी वियर एंड टियर होता है। सपोज द इंजन 10 साल के लिए है, 10 साल के बाद उसका लाइफ खत्म हो जाता है, और मे बी ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल गॉट इनटू डेड हो जाएगा, यू कैन नॉट रन आफ्टर 10 years। तो आपका 10 साल में सपोज इफ दिस इंजन इज गोइंग टू गेट डेड, देन आपको हर साल उसी हिसाब से 1/10 होता है ना, एवरी ईयर एटलीस्ट आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि मेरा ये साल मेरा इंजन का वैल्यू 1/10 चला गया, नेक्स्ट ईयर 1/20 चला गया, थर्ड ईयर 30 चला गया, 30% चला गया, फोर्थ ईयर 40% चला गया, फिफ्थ ईयर 50% चला गया। ऐसे आप दोज आर आल्सो एक्सपेंसेस ना। 10 साल के बाद आपको वो गाड़ी के अगर इट्स वैल्यू विल बी जीरो, एज यू सेड इट, द वैल्यू गेट्स डिक्रीज्ड, so there is a decrease in the value of asset. And why that decrease is happening? Because of wear and tear, because of the requirement of maintenance, because of work, because the machine keeps on working, so there is a wear and tear. So the cost attached, the cost evolved or evaluated or estimated for this wear and tear is called depreciation. Correct na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any expenses that is related to the wear and tear of any machinery, which is, even though it is not visible, but the expenses arrived or calculated or estimated for the wear and tear is called the depreciation. ओके, सो एवरी ईयर, आज अभी जो हम फर्नीचर अभी खरीद के लेके आ गए, हमारे पास 1 लाख रुपीस था, श्याम ने दिया था, श्याम का 1 लाख रुपीस से हमने क्या किए थे? इफ यू रिमेम्बर इन द एग्जाम्पल, वी हैव बोट फर्नीचर, फर्नीचर्स एंड पिक्चर्स 30,000 का लेके आ गए, क्लियर? ये साल उसका वैल्यू 30,000 होगा। नेक्स्ट ईयर क्या होता है? दोस फर्नीचर्स विल कीप ऑन यूजिंग एंड अप, उसका वैल्यू में थोड़ा डिक्रीज हो जाएगा, तो दैट में बिकम से 10% भी आप डेप्रिसिएशन लेते हैं, देन इट बिकम्स 27,000, करेक्ट? Then next year what we have to do? Suppose if we are reducing 10% depreciation, then 27,000 से 10% is another 2,700. We need to reduce it. Correct? So that will become 24,300. Clear ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ऐसे depreciation calculation होता है। And I will also tell you what are the different methods of depreciation. एक तो written down value होता है और एक तो straight line method होता है। दो things also depreciation का हम बात करेंगे। Written down value means आप जैसे देखे हैं ना, interest को क्या करते हैं? Cumulative interest करते हैं, compounding interest करते हैं, simple interest करते हैं। You know that if you have studied mathematics, and if you have studied on interest, there is a compound interest, there is a simple interest. Similarly, written down value में क्या होता है? Depreciation होने के बाद उसके ऊपर depreciation होता है। It keeps on doing, depreciating in that manner. जैसे मैंने अभी बताया, 30,000 का next year it becomes 27,000, and next to next year it becomes 24,300. सो डेप्रिसिएशन के ऊपर अगेन डिराइव करके जो डेप्रिसिएशन करते हैं उसको रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू बोलते हैं। रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू पहले सपोज उसको अब स्ट्रेट लाइन में करेंगे। सपोज इफ वी से दिस 30,000 फर्नीचर का लाइफ इज 10 years एंड एवरी ईयर वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड 10%, 10 years, सो एवरी ईयर 1/10 वी हैव टू डिडक्ट, देन एवरी साल हमको 3,000 कट करके 30,000, then 27,000, then 24,000, then 21,000, then 18,000, then 15,000, ऐसे करके हम लास्ट में 10th ईयर में उसका वैल्यू 0 करेंगे. So that is straight away we are deducting 3,000. So that is straight line method. Clear na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You guys are really writing na anything or whatever I am putting it. If you just put a pen and paper, it will really help you. So we have also seen written down value क्या है? Written down value method. Written down value में कितना होगा? 30,000 को next year 27,000 होगा. 27 का होगा 24,300. 24,300 का again 24,300 का 2,430 again we have to deduct. And 2,430 deduct करने के बाद we have to reduce in that manner. Whereas इधर क्या है? Straight away single amount is getting reduced over a period of time, so that at the end of the period, depletion period, it becomes 0. The asset becomes 0. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So I think a lot of things got into your mind. Huh? बहुत ज्यादा हो गया ना आज के लिए.
Sir,
Okay, so what we have seen a lot of accounting principles we have seen, dual concept we have seen, revenue recognition we have seen, or revenue recognition we have seen. We have seen also consistency in business. This consistency. Suppose आप written down value method ही use करते हो, then next year also you have to do written down value only. उसके बाद भी written down value method only में depreciation का use करना है. उसके बाद ही रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू करना है. सो एंटायर लाइफ ऑफ द एसेट आपको रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू करना है. एंड इफ यू आर यूजिंग स्ट्रेट अवे, आपको स्ट्रेट अवे ही करना है. बट यू हैव टू गिव ए नोट इन द अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स दैट यू आर एडॉप्टिंग. आपका अकाउंटिंग नोट में आपको लिखना है कि वी आर एडॉप्टिंग स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन. आपको कोई नहीं बोलता है इफ यू आर गिविंग ए डिक्लेरेशन, करेक्ट? Because whatever method you are using, you have to say that I'm using this method बोल के आपको accounting note में लिखना है. And there are certain industry practice also. Certain industries, whatever they are following, we have to follow same thing. So that our accounting, हमारा balance sheet दूसरे के साथ balance sheet में जब comparison होता है, suppose I am an investor, I want to invest in Abhishek's company or Pragyan's company or Prasanji's company or Mithun's company. Suppose if 4 of you are in same business, then आपका accounting भी बराबर रहना है, same principle से adopt करना है. Clear ना? Then only I will be able to judge मेरे को कहाँ investment करना है. So that is the reason Institute of Chartered Accountants have given all these guidelines that you have to adopt an uniform method of accounting. And there should be consistency in your accounting. So consistency is another principle of accounting. आपको accounting का हमारा जो principle रहता है, उसमें consistency is also another principle. So going on concern, dual matching concept and business entity concept, then revenue recognition concept, consistency concept, these are all the various accounting principles, right? So we have seen today different accounting concepts. We have seen different terminologies, and we have seen the definition of debtor, definition of creditor, and how the business is different from the company, how you need to capture in a balance sheet, what are the things you need to capture in a balance sheet, in very elementary manner we have discussed all those things. Then I will be giving you what are the structure of balance sheet, and having known that, we'll go to the basic principles of accounting, debits, credits, and those things quickly we have to see. But being when we are talking about finance for non-finance people, you don't have to go to so root of accounting actually, but you should know what accounting, how does the accounting happen? How can you study the balance sheet? How can you study the P&L account or cash flow statement? So these are the documents of a company. How can you study that? Because if you are going to invest in a share of a company, what you get? You get a prospectus, correct? You are given a prospectus to go through all the company's details, and financials are given in that prospectus. आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है तो prospectus में आता है ना financials of a company. Suppose if you want to invest in Reliance, or if you want to invest in ITC or whatever, so you get a paper where all the company's informations are given there, and financials information has a prominent role over there, or a very significantly it is exhibited there. So आपको वो finance वो study करना है, and when you compare that with your other peers in the industry, you can know मेरे को इसमें investment करना है, whether I will invest in Mr. Sai Prasad's company, or Prasanji's company, or Pragyanji's company, or Mithun or Abhishek's company. That, you know, when you go through all the financials of each company, you will be able to know इसका जो EBITDA बोलते हैं, what is EBITDA, all those things, you know, we will see in the next session. तभी आपको स्टडी करना है किस में इन्वेस्ट करना है, किस में नहीं करना है. So after getting all these basic principles of financial details, we'll go into next level of analytical things. How to evaluate balance, how to study balance sheet and all. Clear? So any question?
यस सर. सर डेप्रिसिएशन क्या हमेशा फिक्स एसेट का ऊपर कैलकुलेशन होता है?
फिक्स्ड एसेट्स के ऊपर ही कैलकुलेशन होता है. फिक्स्ड एसेट्स
Okay,
आइटम फिक्स्ड एसेट्स पे ऊपर होता है, फर्नीचर एंड फिक्सचर के ऊपर होता है, लैंड के ऊपर नहीं होता है, बट बिल्डिंग के ऊपर भी होता है. नॉट ऑन लैंड, एक्सेप्ट लैंड, ऑन एवरीथिंग एल्स में होता है. वन थिंग, आपने जो गुड्स लेके आते, देयर आर टू थिंग्स. आपका एक मार्केटेबल गुड्स रहता है जो कि बिजनेस के लिए, आप सपोज फेस मास्क का भी खरीद के लेके आए, अभी ये महीना आपने सेल नहीं किए, नेक्स्ट महीना आल्सो आपने सेल नहीं किए, बट यू वांट टू सेल इन द मंथ ऑफ अगस्त. जून में नहीं हुआ, जुलाई में नहीं हुआ, अगस्त में हो गया. सो आपको जो गुड्स फॉर सेल, वट एवर यू बाई गुड्स फॉर सेल, उसके ऊपर नहीं होगा, बिकॉज यू डोंट डू एनीथिंग. नो, आपने लाए और रख दिए गोदाम, एंड दोज आर द गुड्स फॉर सेल, उसके ऊपर नहीं होता है. सपोज इफ यू हैव बॉट ए मशीनरी, पैकिंग मशीनरी, और कोई मशीनरी लेके आए हैं जो आप उसको वाइंडिंग करते हैं या नोज का ये थ्रेड्स लगाते हैं, इफ यू बॉट सच काइंड ऑफ मशीनरी, देन उसके वो मशीनरी आप यूज करते रहते हैं, वो मशीनरी के ऊपर आएगा, नॉट ऑन योर गुड्स. सो एज यू राइटली सेड, हमारा फिक्स्ड एसेट जितना भी रहता है उसके ऊपर डेप्रिसिएशन एप्लीकेबल हो जाता है, whether it is furniture fixture, whether it is your movable properties, वो सब के ऊपर हमारा डेप्रिसिएशन होता है. which are having wear and tear, that is the basic thumb rule. उसमें wear and tear होना है. Yes. Next.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, Pragya.
Sir, actually straight line method again, can you share?
हाँ, स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड में सपोज आपका स्कूटी का इंजन 10 साल के बाद आपको वो कंपनी लिख के दिया है कि यू नो दिस इंजन इज वैलिड फॉर 10 years ओनली, देन वो आपको एवरी, आपका सपोज स्कूटी का वैल्यू है 60,000, देन आपको क्या करना है, एवरी ईयर 60,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 10 ईयर से उसका लाइफ है. सो एवरी ईयर 60 डिवाइडेड बाई 60,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 10, 6,000 एवरी ईयर आपको फिक्स्ड डेप्रिसिएशन उसमें से 60,000 से निकाल देने का है. सो फर्स्ट ईयर आपका बैलेंस शीट में वो सपोज दिखाता है 60,000 में आपने खरीद के लेके आए, एट द एंड ऑफ द ईयर आपको 6,000 उसमें से निकाल के बैलेंस शीट में दिखाना है द वैल्यू ऑफ द एसेट इज 54,000. देन ईयर एंड, सेकेंड ईयर एंड में आपको अगेन 66,000 डिडक्ट कर देना है. यू हैव टू शो 48,000. थर्ड ईयर में अगेन 48,000 से 6,000 डिडक्ट कर देना है एंड यू हैव टू शो 42,000. So that is how the fixed depreciation आपको every year reduce करना है. So the fixed depreciation is determined by number of, the value divided by the number of years of the asset life in number of years. Okay. So total purchase cost, total value of the asset divided by number of years, asset value जो भी है उसका number of years, it can be number of years that of the asset life. वो करने से आपको आ जाता है what is the depreciable amount every year, that वो fixed asset में आता है, fixed depreciation. And suppose आपका suppose if you sell at the end of the year आपको suppose 20,000 मिलेगा वो बेचने से 10 साल के बाद, then 60,000 माइनस 20,000 आपको ईयर एंड में मिलेगा, 10 साल के बाद मिलेगा, देन 40,000 बचता है आपका. 40,000 इज द एक्चुअल डेप्रिसिएशन दैट शुड हैपन ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ 10 years. देन 40,000 divided by 10 is 4,000 what you have to deduct every year, so that you get a scrap value of 20,000 at the end of 10 years. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.